and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Savannah, and really quick before we start today's video, I want to say if you guys are interested in any fashion, lifestyle, back to school, or college related content, please be sure to like this video and subscribe. And without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. So in this video right here, I'm going to be showing you guys how I create my study guide. So this is how kind of I take notes for my classes and whatnot, and how I create my study guides on my iPad. So the iPad that I'm using is the iPad 7th generation and the 1st generation Apple Pencil, and I do have an unboxing for those. If you guys are interested in checking those out, I would very much appreciate it. And this is a quick little overview of the notes that I have started, and I am currently starting the second page of my notes. Whenever I take notes for my classes, for this particular class, this is my communications law course, and it is taught online through Zoom. So anytime that my professor goes through our keynote or anything like that, he does tend to go through it pretty quickly, so my notes are pretty sloppy. So what I like to do is I like to rewrite my notes typically on my iPad, or if I really want to do it in my notebook, I can do that as well, but obviously today I'm doing it on my iPad. So I'm just basically rewriting my entire notes that I have, and since I do have a quiz coming up, I just like to kind of be very proactive with making sure that anything that is very important, it stands out. So the main three things that really help me whenever it comes to creating a really helpful study guide is color coordination, sticky notes, and any stars or any kind of highlighted font or change in font or size. Those three things tend to really help me out whenever it comes to making a really good study guide that I know that is going to be really useful for me and that I know that I'm going to really benefit from. So as you can see right here, I am changing up the color because I know that this particular item that I'm writing down, I know that I definitely need to know this for my quiz, so I will create like a cute little border around it like I'm doing right here, and then I obviously change the color to blue, and that's just something that I like to do from time to time if I feel like it. So that is exactly what I'm doing, and I can definitely be a little OCD with some of my stuff, so you will see me kind of like erase a few things and whatnot. That definitely tends to help me out, especially whenever it comes to breaking up my notes. Instead of it just being black ink on a white piece of paper, I really like to kind of spice things up by creating a new color breakthrough on the page, just to kind of break up the entire page a little bit more, and also adding some font and size variation to the letters also seems to really help me out as well. So I'm just continuing the rest of the process by copying down some of my notes and just kind of adding a little bit more detail. As you can see right here, I'm kind of bolding out some of these words just because I know that these again are going to be really crucial on my upcoming quiz. So I'm just making sure that these are bold and that they stand out on my page. And then I also obviously really like to highlight the title. So right here in this particular spot of my notes, I was talking about the 5 different types of law, and that one was equity law. So I correlated the titles in the blue highlighter color. So that is just kind of a little way that I like to kind of organize and color coordinate, is I will kind of correlate the colors with whatever font and whatever subject I'm talking about. So for those particular laws, I like to color coordinate with the highlighter blue color. So I am doing statutory law right now, and I'm just adding the definitions and any additional information that I know I'm going to need for that particular definition, and I am just kind of copying down that. It's pretty repetitive, but I do like to add some little variation of creativity and examples, and just kind of making this look a little bit more exciting than just a plain page of notebook. And this is also a little note that I have noticed whenever it really helps me out whenever I'm creating my own study guide, is also adding kind of like star details or exclamation points whenever something is really important. So as you will see here in just a few seconds, I added a star next to this definition right here because I knew that, again, that one would be on my quiz for sure. So I needed to make sure that I definitely knew that one. Again, right here, I'm highlighting the title for the correlating color and also highlighting the important definition that that I knew that I needed to know for this particular quiz. And then I'm just creating again another title. And I'm sure somebody is going to ask why I zoom in so much whenever I am copying down my notes and stuff on GoodNotes. And I personally do that just because it kind of encourages me to write a little bit nicer and neater, just because I know that obviously I'm going to be using this to study and it's not very aesthetically pleasing or easy to read, really difficult handwriting. So it encourages me to kind of write a little bit nicer and take my time with the study guide, because I know that I'm going to be using it quite a lot to study and review my notes and whatnot. So that is why I personally like to do that. I know some people just like keep it blown out the entire time and they don't really like zoom in very much, but that is something that personally helps me just kind of write a little bit neater and for it to look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. And also right here, I did not change it right away, but I ended up changing the color on this little note right here, just because again, I knew that that was going to be essential for my quiz coming up. So I added a color variation in there, and I also added a cute little border just to kind of make it pop out from the rest of my notes that I had already on that page. And as you can see, this is a really nice little overview of the entire notes that I have done for this particular page, and I'm just kind of going back in and highlighting that particular title that I forgot to earlier, and then I'm going back in and just kind of adding a little bit more extra detail just to anything that I forgot. So I did not add any highlight or anything like that to other than just one title of that definition. So I'm just going back in and I'm highlighting the overall title of the book, which is American Law. That is what we did our discussion on, and then I highlighted obviously the 5 sources of law, which are the main notes that we were studying for this particular quiz, and I just kind of went through and highlighted that. I obviously had highlighted it purple, and I just kind of gave it a little bit more color variation as well, just to kind of just to kind of break up the overall page and whatnot. And then I just kind of went through and re-examined stuff. So as you can see, I do have some stars right here beside stare decisis, which is let the decision stand. So knew that that was going to be an essential for my quiz, so I decided to highlight that green, and that is going to definitely just make that stand out a little bit more and make sure that I definitely know that for my quiz coming up. And then really quick here, I decided to add the title of the document overall, because this is the COM 480 law, and then obviously this is the numerical sign for my registration class. So that is pretty much it for the little overview of how I take my notes, and I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.